Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a brand new story to share with you, so let's get started. I'm 38 years old, and my wife and I have a 16-year-old. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, and I'd planned to surprise her. I left work early, picked up some flowers, and thought it would be a special day for us. Little did I know what was in store. When I walked in the front door, I was met with a mess. Clothes were scattered from the entrance all the way to our bedroom. I was confused. I quickly realized that the clothes were a mix of men's and women's. It hit me that I'd walked into my wife's night of passion. I couldn't process what I was seeing. I heard the moans and screams of passion. It was a numbing experience. They were still at it. I took a step back, found my way to the living room, and sat on the edge of the couch. I noticed his stuff lying around in a fit of anger and despair. I grabbed all of his clothes and took them out to the driveway. I poured charcoal starter fluid on them and set fire to his belongings. The only things spared were his keys and phone. As I walked back into the house, my wife was wrapped in a towel. I was standing there, a bit bewildered, and wished her a happy birthday. She just started crying. The other guy emerged in a towel as well. I handed him his keys and phone and told him to get out. My wife said, "Please don't do this to him." I couldn't stand my wife defending another man. What about defending our marriage amidst my wife wanted to get him a pair of trousers? But I told her he'd touched more than he should have, so I wasn't giving him anything. He tried to grab my arm, so I hit him in the face. He went down and both his eyes were bloodshot. Before long, they'd both be black and blue. I kicked my wife out on her birthday. She's now staying with her mom, who unfortunately has a history of cheating too. Since Tuesday, I haven't spoken to her much, but she's been blowing up my phone and our daughter's. I had to break the news to our daughter about her mother's infidelity, trying not to go into too much detail. I gave her a hard time, but I think it's important to be clear with our daughter. I hired a lawyer this morning and finally texted my wife to tell her we could meet up later so she could try to explain herself. I know it might be a bad idea, but I need answers. I'm struggling to think clearly. When I found them, they were in the shower and didn't realize I was standing at the doorway. The steam covered them, but I could hear their laughter and giggling about the intimacy they'd just shared. It was painful. I texted my wife to say I didn't want to meet up today. I can't stand to look at her yet. She started blowing up my phone. My phone was saying that she could change, claiming she'd already got rid of the guy. I'd told her not to delete anything from her phone. I wanted to see all her texts and messages. We eventually met at a local coffee shop. I recorded the conversation with my phone on the table. She wanted to know why I was doing this. To be honest, I just didn't know. I don't trust her anymore. She said she wanted to save our marriage and that she'd given up on it, but now she wanted to be the wife and mother our daughter needs. I told her it's a little late. She asked if I was ready to throw away 16 years of marriage, and I said it wasn't me who cheated. I asked her who the guy was. He's a stay-at-home dad from one of the homeschooling programs. I told her she had to contact his wife if there's any hope for our future. I asked how long it had been going on. She said 2 months. She claims to feel guilty and remorseful. I told her it was for getting caught, not for what she did, as she had no intention of stopping. She was crying and said she knew it was wrong and that she was going to stop. I called her out on lying and asked for her phone. She hadn't deleted anything, and she showed me the progression of their texts and explained how many times they met up. I asked her why she could do certain things with him but not for me, and she said she didn't. I told her I wouldn't judge her for her desires as a wife and mother. In return, she showed me the text where she told the guy she couldn't have contact with him anymore. She also wanted me to tell our daughter to contact her, but I refused. I won't force our daughter to talk to her. I also told her she needs to get into counseling to fix herself, because there's clearly something seriously wrong with her after our meeting. I contacted a lawyer and started divorce proceedings. I've reached a point where I just can't bear the weight of the trial any longer. After she broke down in tears, I gave her a deadline of 60 days. The separation papers were finalized. I needed to see genuine remorse for the pain she caused both me and our daughter, not just the shame of getting caught. I suggested she move in with her mother for now, until we figure out what lies ahead. I also insisted she get an STD test. Despite the separation, I want to know her whereabouts at all. I've asked for a tracking device on her phone and regular check-ins. The trust is shattered, and I've made it clear that if she even whispers to the person she cheated with, consequences will follow. I'm questioning the entire foundation of our marriage and wondering if she could have been unfaithful all along. She claimed it was a one-off, but I don't believe her. She had an affair, but I don't believe she'll stop there. I'm worried she'll do it again. The situation got worse when my wife took a bunch of pills on Christmas Eve, which led to an emergency room visit. Now we're back together. I had a conversation with her. I told her that our marriage is over because of her selfish behavior. On Christmas Eve, she traumatized our daughter. It's become clear that I can't continue living with this narcissistic behavior in our conversations. I reiterated that the damage to our family is irreversible. She kept expressing a desire for us, but I called it out, saying she'd still be with the other person if she hadn't been caught. I've realized I know nothing. I don't feel anything for her, whether it's the trauma or something else. I'm just thinking about moving forward without her. She said she doesn't know what to do, but I reminded her that she should have considered the consequences before engaging in the affair. I've packed up all her belongings and placed them on the back porch for her to retrieve. I decided to speak to the other person's wife. I felt I needed to address the situation with her as well. I'm not sure what the future holds, but it seems that ending the marriage is the only option left. I don't care what anyone thinks or says. I've made up my mind. I'm done. My focus is on moving forward with my daughter and my soon-to-be ex. My wife is still out of the picture, and I've chosen to avoid contact with her while my daughter has the option to talk to her. She hasn't shown any interest so far. From what I've heard, my soon-to-be ex-wife spends most days holed up in her room at my mother-in-law's house. I think she's in a bad place. It seems like everyone who knows her has turned their back on her. I don't feel sorry for her, but I do feel sorry for the situation she's in. Last night, though, I had a change of heart. I decided to visit the other betrayed spouse and share the packet of information I had gathered about the affair. I explained everything I could to her. She asked if I was the one who confronted her husband, and I told her I was. Apparently, he had spun a story about a road rage incident when he came. I went over to his house, and he had a black eye and his gym clothes on. We spent about 40 minutes talking, and I told her everything that had happened behind our backs while I was there. She called him and told him not to come home because she knew everything. This morning she reached out to me, and we've decided to meet again to go over the evidence, possibly involving our divorce attorney since it seems she's heading in that direction too. I've unblocked my wife for divorce-related communication, and we've agreed on an uncontested. I'm getting divorced and we're splitting our assets 60/40 in my favor. I'll be keeping the house and I've got full custody of our daughter for now. My wife and I don't talk much, mostly just about our daughter and the divorce. She's tried to bring up the affair a couple of times, but I've shut her down. I've confirmed that she ended things with the other guy because there was some information shared between me and the other betrayed spouse that she doesn't know about in less than 6 weeks. I should be happily divorced. I've been spending time with the other betrayed spouse, although I don't want to date her just yet. She seems to be an amazing woman. I wonder why the other guy cheated on her. It's been 6 months now and I'm a free man. Maria, the other guy's wife, is now dating me. We've been spending time together and getting to know each other better. Hopefully things will be good in the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.